Have you ever encountered a puzzle that seemed to defy all logic? These puzzles, often called paradoxes, are more than just brain teasers. They are profound questions that challenge our understanding of reality and logic. They make us pause and think deeply, often leading us to question our assumptions and beliefs. These brain-twisting enigmas, known as paradoxes, have captivated thinkers for centuries. From ancient philosophers like Zeno to modern-day scientists and mathematicians, paradoxes have been a source of fascination and debate. They are not just intellectual exercises, but are often used to illustrate important principles in philosophy, mathematics, and science. Paradoxes often present seemingly valid arguments that lead to contradictory or impossible conclusions. This is what makes them so intriguing and perplexing. They force us to think outside the box and consider alternative perspectives. They reveal the limitations of our understanding and the complexity of the world we live in. They challenge our understanding of the world and force us to question the very foundations of logic and reasoning. Paradoxes can be found in many areas of life, from everyday situations to complex scientific theories. They remind us that the world is not always as straightforward as it seems, and that there is often more than one way to look at a problem. One such paradox, born from the imaginative mind of Lewis Carroll, the author of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, takes us on a curious journey to a seemingly ordinary barbershop. Carroll was not just a writer but also a mathematician and logician, and his works often reflect his deep interest in logical puzzles and paradoxes. This puzzle, known as the Barbershop Paradox, presents a logical conundrum that has intrigued mathematicians and philosophers alike. The paradox involves a barber who is supposed to shave all and only those men in town who do not shave themselves. The question is, does the barber shave himself? If he does, he should not, according to the rule. If he does not, then he should, again according to the rule. This creates a logical contradiction that is difficult to resolve. Prepare to be perplexed as we unravel the intricacies of this thought-provoking puzzle. The Barbershop Paradox is just one example of how paradoxes can challenge our thinking and push the boundaries of our understanding. As we delve deeper into this and other paradoxes, we will explore the ways in which they illuminate the complexities of logic, language, and reality. So, get ready to embark on a journey of intellectual discovery and wonder. Lewis Carroll, the pen name of Charles Lutwidge Dodgson, was not only a gifted storyteller but also a brilliant mathematician and logician. In the late 19th century, he crafted a paradox that would become a subject of much debate and analysis. Carroll's Barbershop Paradox, disguised as a seemingly simple story, exposes a fascinating flaw in naive set theory. Imagine a small town with a peculiar barbershop. This barbershop is home to three barbers, Allen, Brown, and Carr. These barbers have a rather unusual rule that governs their business. This rule is the crux of our paradox. Allen, Brown, and Carr have established a strict rule for their barbershop. Allen shaves all men in town who don't shave themselves, and no other man in town is shaved by Allen. This rule, while seemingly straightforward, quickly leads to a logical quagmire when we consider the barbers themselves. Let's delve into the predicament by introducing two characters, Uncle Joe and Uncle Jim. Uncle Joe, a regular at the barbershop, finds himself pondering the implications of the barber's rule. Uncle Jim, known for his pragmatic approach, offers a different perspective. Uncle Joe, a man who appreciates a good logical puzzle, begins to dissect the barber's rule. He has always been fascinated by paradoxes and logical conundrums, and this one seems particularly intriguing. The rule states that Allen shaves all men in town who don't shave themselves. Uncle Joe knows that such statements often hide deeper complexities. He carefully considers each element of the rule and its implications. Uncle Joe takes out his notebook and starts jotting down his thoughts. He writes, "If Allen shaves all men who don't shave themselves, then who shaves Allen?" This question seems simple but is loaded with complexity. Allen shaves all men in town who don't shave themselves, he muses. This means that Allen has a very specific role in the town's grooming habits. But what happens when Allen himself needs a shave? Uncle Joe knows that this is where the paradox lies. So if Allen doesn't shave himself, then he must be shaved by Allen. This creates a loop that seems impossible to resolve. Uncle Joe scratches his head trying to untangle this logical knot. If Allen doesn't shave himself, he falls into the category of men who need to be shaved by Allen. But how can Allen shave himself if he doesn't shave himself? Uncle Joe continues his line of reasoning. He paces back and forth in his study, muttering to himself. If Allen does shave himself, then according to the rule, he shouldn't be shaving himself because he only shaves those who don't shave themselves. This paradox is a classic example of a self-referential problem, and Uncle Joe is determined to get to the bottom of it. But the rule also states that no other man in town is shaved by Alan except those who don't shave themselves, he ponders. This means that Alan's shaving duties are strictly limited to those who don't take care of their own grooming. Uncle Joe realizes that this rule creates a closed loop with no easy way out. This seems to imply that if Alan shaves himself, then he must not shave himself. Uncle Joe chuckles at the absurdity of the situation. It's a perfect example of how language and logic can sometimes create puzzles that are almost impossible to solve. He decides to take a break, knowing that some puzzles are meant to be enjoyed rather than solved. Section 5. A shaky conclusion. Uncle Joe arrives at a perplexing crossroads. His logic seems sound, yet it leads to two contradictory conclusions. If Alan shaves himself, then he must not shave himself, he mutters, scratching his head. And if he doesn't shave himself, then he must shave himself. This is the crux of the Barbershop Paradox. Uncle Joe's seemingly valid deductions have led him to an impossible conclusion. The paradox arises from the assumption that the barber's rule can be applied universally, even to the barbers themselves. Section 6. Uncle Jim's perspective. Uncle Jim, known for his practical nature, listens patiently to Uncle Joe's logical gymnastics. After a moment of contemplation, Uncle Jim offers a simpler explanation. "Joe," he says, "the problem lies in the rule itself. It's simply not a workable rule." Uncle Jim's perspective highlights the practical absurdity of the barber's rule. The rule creates a logical contradiction, rendering it impossible to determine who shaves Alan. The paradox, in a way, exposes the limitations of applying abstract rules to real-world scenarios without considering their practicality. Section 7. Echoes in the Halls of Logic. The Barbershop Paradox, while presented as a whimsical story, has profound implications for the field of logic and set theory. Renowned logicians, including John Venn and Bertrand Russell, recognize the paradox's significance in understanding the limits of self-referential sets. The paradox demonstrates that not all seemingly logical statements can be used to define sets. Specifically, a set cannot be defined solely by its members if its definition refers to itself. This realization led to significant advancements in set theory and the development of axioms to avoid such paradoxes. Section 8. The enduring legacy of a paradox. The Barbershop Paradox, though rooted in a lighthearted scenario, has left an indelible mark on the world of logic. Originating from the mind of philosopher Bertrand Russell, this paradox presents a scenario where a barber is defined as the person who shaves all those, and only those, who do not shave themselves. The question then arises, does the barber shave himself? If he does, according to the definition, he should not. If he does not, then he should. This seemingly simple puzzle has profound implications. It serves as a potent reminder that even seemingly simple rules can have unforeseen consequences. The paradox challenges our understanding of self-reference in set theory, leading to significant developments in mathematical logic. It underscores the importance of precision in language and definitions, as even a small ambiguity can lead to a logical conundrum, and that the pursuit of logical consistency can lead to unexpected complexities. The Barbershop Paradox is not just a theoretical exercise, it has practical applications in computer science, particularly in the realm of programming languages and algorithms. Understanding and resolving such paradoxes can help in creating more robust and error-free software. More importantly, the paradox highlights the critical role of careful examination. It teaches us to scrutinize our assumptions and the frameworks within which we operate. By questioning the foundations of our logical systems, we can uncover hidden inconsistencies and improve our understanding of complex concepts, and the need to question assumptions. This is a valuable lesson not just in logic, but in all areas of life. Whether in science, philosophy, or everyday decision-making, the ability to critically evaluate our beliefs and assumptions can lead to greater clarity and insight. The Barbershop Paradox, much like the universe itself, invites us to embrace curiosity, challenge conventional thinking, and explore the fascinating interplay between logic, language, and the world around us. It encourages a mindset of perpetual inquiry, where every answer leads to new questions, and every solution uncovers new mysteries. In this way, the paradox not only enriches our understanding of logic but also inspires a deeper appreciation for the complexities and wonders of the world we live in. It reminds us that the journey of discovery is never-ending, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a path filled with both challenges and rewards.